we obviously have another little bit more than half the season to go, I'm assuming. How would you describe the rest of the season in one word?
Fast. I would say it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it and I'm just like, oh my god, my roller coaster.
Yeah.
It is a roller coaster at full speed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's just constant looping. You're just constantly on a loop and you're like, when can I get off this ride?
You're like, what? you and I can assure you, you will not be bored. I think this next few weeks, if you liked what we did, now you'll love it.
Buckle up.
Stay sat for the rest of the season.
Stay sat. Pop your popcorn.
No more filler.
Yeah.
Bathroom breaks before. You're gonna be locked in.
What's going on, guys? All right. Happy Friday. I hope you guys had an amazing week. I know that I did. I have such a treat for you guys today. We have from Southern Hospitality, one of my favorite shows on Bravo that you guys have heard me talking about for so long. I think I've been talking about this since season 1. If you guys aren't a fan, hopefully after this conversation, it will encourage you to go out and watch the show. We have none other than Mia Alario and Molly Moore from Southern Hospitality. So I had such a blast talking with these ladies. Such a fun conversation. We talk about everything overall from the season up until last night's episode. So I hope that you guys enjoy our conversation. All right, guys, we have Mia and Molly from Southern Hospitality. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. First and foremost, the success of Southern Hospitality is absolutely like insane. You guys are killing it. It's getting all of the recognition that it deserves. So it's very well deserved. So congratulations to both of you guys. I just wanted to say that first to get that out of the way.
I'm like, finally.
Literally, right? Right? I mean, I've obviously, as Mia may know, I've been a fan of the show since season 1. So like to just see, it's obviously one of my favorites on Bravo right now, and it's just progressively like getting better and better. So what's to come is like unexpected, but I'm glad that people are like really like starting to actually like become invested in it. People who were like haters in the beginning, now all of a sudden they're fans, and that's what I love to see. I know you girls are fresh off of the reunion, so we're not going to talk about it, but I was wondering if you can maybe just give us like 1 or 2 words to like best describe how you think it went.
I think it was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It was really heavy.
I would say emotional and explosive.
Well, damn. All right. Yeah. Well, that's all we're going to cover with that. We will wait for the reunion and then just keep those words in mind for what to expect when it comes out. Obviously, Mia, you were missed the beginning of the season. I don't think we got enough of you with just the FaceTime calls with TJ. But you were out there. You were competing for Miss World, and you placed 5th, correct? But yes. Number 1 in my heart, my dear. I just really wanted to like just talk to you. Like, what was your experience like doing that?
It was honestly traumatic. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, people like, I don't know if people lie so much about the pageant world, and it is really horrendous. It's just like a lot of not fabulous people telling you that you are not fabulous enough. Oh, you know what I mean? So I'm a person where my love language is like words of affirmation, and I'm like, where are all the people telling me that I'm like amazing and the greatest? So I wanted to get the fuck up out of there as soon as possible.
Eat some real food.
And as soon as I was like, as soon as TJ told me about Vegas, I was like, I'm getting on the next flight. I'm done. I'm out of here.
That was amazing. Your entrance in Vegas, we're going to get into. It was epic to see you come back, because I don't think anybody was expecting that, even on the show. So it was a good surprise.
I needed some humbling. I needed some humbling for real.
Would you ever do it again?
No, absolutely not.
No,
Never. Will not recommend. Will never do again.
Retiring your beauty pageant days?
Man, look, I have my
I love that. I love that. while you were there, obviously you're FaceTiming with CJ. We're getting those glimpses of it. Did you have any FOMO, like while you were competing, of like what was going on with filming? Like, was there anything that you saw back that you weren't there for, where you were like, if I was there, I would have done this?
Well, I think I was getting caught up like consistently.
Yeah.
And then I think the only time I wish I was there was when Austin called me gross or whatever he called me at the table.
Yeah.
Because one, I promise you that would have never happened if I was sitting right across from him.
Right.
I mean, why would he come for the only person that wasn't there?
That
I don't think he expected me to pop back up in Vegas. His face was like, oh fuck.
I know. He looks shocked. He looks shocked.
I know. So, he better be.
I mean, we're gonna get into that too, but I was like, when you walked in and his face was just like, oh, like he knew something was coming. Like he knew
at that moment he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, he knew like the smoke was coming his way.
That is the definition of fuck around and find out right there.
Literally, put it in dictionaries. Obviously, this season, there is a lot going on with Emmy and Will. Last season, Mia, you were the one to confront Emmy about the cheating rumors involving Will. Were you happy? I'm not happy. Happy isn't the word. Were you kind of maybe relieved that it wasn't you this season that had to bring it to the forefront?
Emmy's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We're not as close as anymore, obviously. So I'm not relieved that has happened to her again. But I am relieved that I wasn't the messenger and I didn't get it, had to be shot again. Because that's kind of where our relationship rift, where she thought that I was attacking her in her relationship when I was like, hey, I heard this, I looked into it, and I have like some weird proof. You know what I mean? And so for me to watch her and her relationship be accused again with like this proof that is not really set in stone, like there's no real evidence, honestly. It's like, Austin's sister's brother's buddy and his other, it's weird. You know what I mean? There's no actual proof and Austin doesn't want to like confront it. So it's hard to watch this play out again, but not, I think, as successfully as I did it last year.
You did it. Yeah, you handled it perfectly last year.
I think so too. I heard something. I wanted to make sure that I came with her with some real evidence. I got the girl's number. I said, I will FaceTime her. I'll call her, whatever you want. She texted me. I showed her the text. She still didn't want to hear it then, and she still doesn't want to hear it now.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we're obviously we're all watching the way that everything is kind of going down with it and like her reactions to everything. It's hard to watch. It really is. You don't want to see someone like go through all of that.
It is. It's hard, yeah.
Speaking of her reactions, Molly, one of like the kind of like you obviously were in the first few episodes, but one of like the big moments there was when you were there for her meltdown that she had on that like Sunday at Republic, when your roommate kind of confronted her about like the Republic dresses and her using the store credit to purchase the dresses and then like pocketing the girls' cash. Are the girls kind of like over that now since she kind of posted her Amex statements online for everyone to see? Was that kind of something that overlapped into something like longer than what it should have been, or is everyone kind of just over it?
Well, one, the Amex receipt proved nothing other than they were being shipped to her. Like that proved nothing. The way this company works is you purchase dresses and you get more credit the next month. So like that didn't really prove anything, but I appreciate the effort to try to catch me and switch me up. But in general, this was not a big deal. Emmy made it a big deal.
Yeah.
It was never a big thing. Like no one actually really cared that much. Because I don't dress out like they do. I have my own uniform. But Siobhan had come to me actually the night before and it said, we were kind of talking and this whole conversation started because Emmy was in the back room bragging about how much money she makes and how she doesn't need Republic and they can have like nicer dresses now. But, not everyone in the Republic company has the means of that, has the same financial place as she does. So they kind of got to talking. And they were like, well, it's very interesting that she now has been sponsored by this company the dresses, we had never ordered from them before, not once. So I think it just begged a question. And Siobhan is also very analytical, and she's a lawyer herself. And so she just, had the facts, and she wanted to present it to Emmy and said, did you do this? I don't think that you did, but I want to know if you did. And Emmy is the one who turned a question into the accusation. It was never supposed to be what it ended up being. And I think that's why we were all taken aback, because we were like, you didn't do it. Like, chill the fuck out.
Right.
Like, she was just asking. It was a yes or no question, because I would have handled that. Oh my gosh, like, no. Like, I'm so sorry that you guys think that. Like, I would never do that. But her character in the past, it wouldn't be surprising if she did. We'll say that.
All right. Well, there you go. I know that there's kind of been like the maybe contentious, like kind of like relationship between you and Emmy. You guys just really don't seem to get along. You butt heads a lot, like in the beginning. There was a moment when she called you an insecure bitch. You said all she does is talk about herself. She said she doesn't like being in competition with other women because that's below her. Do you think that the reason why you two don't get along is because of that working relationship that you had with Will? And if not, like, where do you two stand now?
I think that the issues with me and Emmy has nothing to do with Will.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with me and Will's working relationship. It has everything to do with Emmy's relationship with herself.
Okay.
I think we call projection. We know it's projection. If it makes her feel better to call me an insecure bitch, like, I'm secure enough to be that scapegoat. If that makes you feel better, then by all means, call me that.
And Molly's one of the most secure women I know. I'm just gonna say that. Like, for real. Yeah.
Like,
you can tell you come off that way.
No, it was weird to hear. Yeah, it was weird to hear.
I promise I'm not insecure. I am not insecure.
It's kind of seemed like a projection a moment almost. You know what I mean?
And I think another important thing to bring up, calling someone an insecure bitch who's new on a television show and who's also a woman, if you really thought someone was insecure, you would never say that on television. Like, right. I would never. That's a cheap shot. I think that calling someone insecure, call me anything you want, attack my character, but like coming at me with a surface level, which come to find out that's her MO. She loves to body shame me. But it's just, it just didn't sit right with me being called and I can joke about it. Like, she's lucky I'm not actually insecure, because that could be really damaging to someone.
Right. There are these meltdowns that happen, right? So I kind of want to know, maybe a little BTS moment. Like, obviously there's all these people that are outside on the patio of Republic, trying to enjoy their Sunday fun day. There's this huge meltdown going on. Right.
Including Will.
Literally. Oh my God. That's right. That moment too, where he was like, well, is that not what you did? Like, did you not do that? I was like, oh, good God, this guy, do these people have any idea what's going on? Could you hear that outside? It just came across as being louder than what it was on television, but it really seemed like you could hear her down King Street. That's how loud it came off. Do you know what I mean?
It was pretty loud.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those things. I don't think people outside heard it because we have a DJ bumping.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I think Maddie was DJing actually.
Yeah.
People were, it's very loud in the music. I think if you were looking for it, you could probably hear it.
Right.
It was definitely. It was loud. It meant the match to the music, we'll say.
Oh, those are some pipes. I mean, yeah.
I was like, damn, girl, you should take up singing.
Right. I mean, you did have that hilarious moment in your interview where you were like, oh, her name is perfect. She should win an Emmy for this. Your confessionals, though, too, this season, and granted, it is your first. I mean, you've had some good one-liners in there. So
oh, thank you.
I noted them for the end of this, which I thought a few of them were pretty hilarious. So.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm chronically online, so I think.
Aren't we all?
I don't know. I think it's the burner Twitter in me.
Another kind of big moment that happened in the beginning of the season is when you guys all went to Lake's house. Is it Lake Wiley? Is that what they call it? Which, by the way, like that was, I believe it was you who even said, like, this is a mansion on a water. That's not a lake house. It was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. So you guys go there for her birthday. You guys are at this like all white dinner and you're sitting down and TJ brings up the conversation that Emmy had with Michaels. And it felt kind of almost like everyone was just trying to give Emmy like a safe space without Will to talk about what was going on. But obviously there was kind of like this meltdown. She ran off and she just wasn't happy with it because she didn't like that. It almost came across like she didn't want to be attacked, or she kind of wanted it to be like a one-on-one moment. Do either one of you guys think that there was something that could have been said to prevent that meltdown? Or is it just always the way that she's going to react? Because we've seen people approach her in a large group. We've seen people approach her in a smaller group. And it kind of just seems to be the same reaction both ways. But when she left, she said, like, I believe she said, like, why wouldn't you just come to me, like, personally and say something? But they did, and it didn't work.
Yeah. And I did it last year.
Yeah. Do you think that there was anything that could have been done to prevent that meltdown, or do you think that's just how she's always going to react?
I think that's how she's always going to react. I think embarrassment takes over, as it would anyone. No one wants to be in that situation. Mia and I aren't going to sit here and be like, yeah, that's a fun thing to do.
Right.
Like it was awful for everyone involved. But as friends, you try as many approaches as you can.
Right.
And this was one of those approaches, and it was met with the same, caliber of a meltdown as in the past. So now it's like, how do we talk to this girl?
Do you even bother anymore? Yeah,
I think sometimes she forgets she signed up for a reality television show, and
100%.
You have to. We all signed up for it, and yes, it's awkward and it's embarrassing sometimes, but knowing how to approach a situation without emotion is so important in this industry.
Right.
And there's a way to handle and carry yourself in these group conversations. She could have easily said, I acknowledge this is happening. I don't want to talk about it right now. But, she kind of chose the explosive route. Mia, do you have any?
I think she makes it 100% worse. Like, there's nobody, hello? Like, if somebody came at me and was like, hey, Troy did this and this and that, I'd be like, all right, let's get him on the phone right now and put him on speaker and let me see what you got proof, and I'm going to remove a new one. You know what I mean? Right. That's it. That's it. You don't have to be screaming and crying and shaking and carrying on. It makes her reaction elevates the situation so much. You know what I mean? It's like, we're just asking you a question. Why is there snot running down your face now?
Right. And I get what you're saying too, Molly, about trying to keep the emotion out of it. I will say, from a viewer standpoint, the emotion makes for the craziness kind of makes for such good reality TV.
It does.
Like, I haven't seen like that kind of makeup face since like Lauren Conrad on The Hills with like a makeup teardrop coming down her eyes. Like,
here's a piece to that. Like, after she was crying, she was taking selfies with her makeup down her face. So obviously she really cared.
Yeah. Oh boy. Listen, this is something that should be studied in colleges, because it really is like, it's fascinating.
Psych 101.
Yeah, but everybody will have a friend that they go through with this. Like,
literally, yeah.
Like, yeah, we all have friends that we are like, what are you doing? And like, what is he doing to you? And like, this just doesn't seem like a happy, healthy relationship. And they are just like screaming, crying, no, I'm happy, and this is all great. And you're like, I don't know.
There comes a point when, you have to let them help themselves. Like, they will do their own thing. She's going to do her own thing. And she can't be surprised when people don't want to follow along.
Right.
And support that.
Agreed. You guys both, I appreciate you guys giving your input on that. I want to get onto a little bit of a lighter topic. We'll get off Emmy and Will for just a minute.
Yeah.
Mia, you came back surprising the group in Vegas. Like I said earlier in the episode, you were like, the bitch is back. It was... Again, like I said, I don't think anybody was expecting you to pop in that episode. In my mind, I was like, when is this chick coming back on the TV screen and getting out of that phone. You were living in our phone through the TV. It was like a whole nother world. Before we get into Vegas, did you know, because obviously there are newbies, there's Molly, there's Austin, and then there's Lake. Did you know any of them prior to filming? Like, or was Vegas your first time meeting them?
I met Michaels from Facebook Marketplace. He bought a couch for me.
Stop it. You met him on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, he bought a couch for me.
That's amazing.
That was all I knew of him. Yeah. I knew Austin. He was my server once. I said he was hot, and I guess I got crucified for doing that. Yeah. I didn't know Molly. I've never met her before, and I had never met Lake before. But Molly and I actually have a really funny.
She's still my man.
No.
So no, some guy that she was seeing like lied to her that he was like taking me on dates. And so when we met in Vegas, she was like, oh yeah, she like kind of came to me. She's like, oh yeah, by the way, like that guy that you were seeing, yeah, like I was seeing him too. And I was like, who are you talking about?
Like, who? Yeah. I'm like, girl, what?
And then I was like, I have never went on a date with him. I've never hung out with him my entire life. Like, no. And then she's like, oh my God, I got played. And then ever since then, Molly and I have been like really, me, Molly, and Michaels have been like really close.
Yeah. Oh, that's filming. Great. Yeah. So were you guys just like, did you just pass each other? Like Mia left Republic, you started?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we share a lot of mutual close friends. Yeah. So we knew of each other, and I knew her as a girl who stole my man, which actually didn't happen. So I'm like,
hilarious. Oh,
I'm gonna cry. I'm like, I got played. But we had known of each other. But it was right when she was leaving, I had come in. I think maybe literally the week of.
Yeah, and then she knew me as like this crazy girl that yelled at Leva, you know?
Yeah, right.
I was like, who is this chick? Are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the rumor mill about me and Charleston is so good. It's like from bike taxis to like stealing guys. It's insane. It's crazy.
It's why you even talk about it too. I think I want to say in the earlier seasons you've like mentioned maybe some of the rumors that have gone around. I'm just like, damn, like
I have so many ex-boyfriends that I don't know about. Like I've never met them.
Yeah, Mia has this thing in town where guys pretend they're dating her. That's so insane. Strange. Like to the point where like
crazy.
This guy, she told me about this guy had a full like lie going with his friend group. I'm going to hang out with Mia. And then his friends saw Mia out and were like, oh my gosh, like you haven't hung out with blah blah blah. And she's like, who is that?
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. It's wild. It's flattering, but it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. But look in the mirror. I mean, you guys are both gorgeous. Like who would, I mean.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure guys are making lies up about that, which is weird though. Like fucking weirdos. Like,
people are so weird.
To get back on the Austin thing, Mia, you wasted absolutely no time, which I think everyone kind of respects about you. Emmy says it, like you wasted no time addressing what you heard about Austin when he said that he called you a bitch. He actually called you gross, which is kind of even freaking worse. Yeah. But you guys, like you hit it head on. You just, I don't even think your ass was in the seat yet before you started like talking to him. And
I haven't even brought my drink yet.
Right. You guys are both like recounting your stories, which did add up. Like your stories were very similar. So what is his issue with you? Like,
you tell me.
I do not get it.
You tell me, because the thing is, all I know is that I complimented him. He was a server, and I was like, you're sexy, you know, you're single. And he was like, yeah, I'm single, write your number down on the receipt. And so I did, and then he never texted me, never called me, and of course I'm gonna be like a little bit, you know,
right,
but come to find out, he had a girlfriend.
Oh,
that's why he didn't message me.
Oh my God.
And then like maybe like a couple weeks later, I saw him out, and I was fucked up. I was like, by the way, I don't need you. Like, and I don't know in what world. I'm taking him face value for that, because I don't even remember doing that, but that happens to me sometimes.
But even who cares if you did? I'm sure you weren't like butthurt. Like it's so weird.
Like that warrants you calling me gross. I mean, rewind back to the O'Sheen situation. There's something within me, like something about my energy that really triggers some men, and they get like very. Like
men don't like confident women, Mia.
very affected by me and my presence, which that's okay with me. But the thing is, mind you, that I'm the only one not at that table at Lake's birthday, and I'm the person he chooses to like come at. When like half the table of my friends, one, none of my friends are gonna stick up for me because two, half of them knew that I was gonna show up.
Right.
And they knew that I was gonna handle business right then and there in front of his face. And so when I walk in the door, you can see him visibly like,
yeah, like his butt cheeks clenched.
Yes. He was constipated for a week after that.
It was just so uncomfortable. I loved watching it because I was like, oh, she's gonna light his ass up.
But I will say, I'll give him his kudos, because the next day, this was not on camera, the next day at the little breakfast, he came up to me and he was like, hey, like I asked the person that, because there was like some other stuff going on too, like another rumor that he heard about me, and he was like, hey, by the way, like I heard my information wasn't good, like I just want to apologize to you because, you know, I thought you were one person and you're obviously not, and like I just want to squash it between us. And I was like, of course you do.
Well, at least
also start checking where you're getting the information, brother, because the rest of the season is not.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what? At least he approached you for it, though. I mean, it kind of left a bit, I know in my mouth, it left a bad taste. So I was just like,
a lot of people too. A lot of people were like, who is this guy and why is he coming after me? I was like, I'd understand if I ran over his dog or something, but like, I said you were sexy and now you get mad at me.
Right. Did that deduct any points on his attractiveness scale for you, Molly? Because you did say he was very hot at the lake house.
Yeah,
he's got a good body. He's got a good body.
He does have a yeah, he does. He's very hot.
So I would sit on him if he had a completely different personality.
And you were not wrong. Right?
I mean, he's got a washboard over in the abdomen.
It's insane.
So.
Yeah.
I think it's on a carnivore diet or whatever.
He's got some weird eating habits. It's crazy. I'll walk into the back room at Republic and he's drinking like raw milk with dried prunes.
Oh God.
And I'm like, well, what are you doing?
That sounds as bad as Mia's beauty pageant. Beauty pageant meals. Not gross, but like as bad. But like, oh my God.
Manorexia is a real.
It's a real thing. Prior to you guys going to Vegas, obviously there is the rumor that comes up that Austin drops about the Emmy and the Will stuff. There was a moment when you guys were all at breakfast where you could literally cut the tension like with a knife. I was almost waiting for Lake to drop like the bomb at the breakfast table of like the cheating rumors. By the way, she is hilarious. Like
Lake.
Yes, like the little things that she says, like it's all like when she ran in when Emmy like no call no showed, like she wasn't even at Halls yet before she opened the door and was like, they just walked by. I don't know, I was just expecting her to maybe drop that, but the tension, like you were at the breakfast, like what the hell? Like was everyone just uncomfortable?
I mean, I was fine.
If Mia's over here talking about cantaloupe or honeydew or melons, something's wrong.
Oh my God.
I was surprised he even showed up to the breakfast.
Yeah. I think it was no one had seen him. Basically since everything. Oh my gosh, there's a bug in my apartment. I'm sorry. Anyways, no one had seen him. So it was like the initial shock value of, because we had all thought like his flight had issues.
Right.
So I think there was like shock value, and then also everyone knows this secret, but no one's saying anything. Everyone knows this like allegation, but everyone's like, anyways, this fruit's delicious.
Right.
Like, wow, so great.
Wow.
Yeah. Is breakfast over yet? Oh my God. I mean, it's crazy. I will say, we'll get into last night's episode. 10 out of 10, guys. Like, I don't think if I had never met Grace Lilly, I wouldn't think she was a real person.
Oh, like, no.
It is.
The thing is, she isn't like she is.
Right. And the day party. All right. So, like, obviously, guys, if you're listening and you've watched last night's episode, you know that Maddie was doing her day club, like, debut thing. Like, what do you call that? Like a guest spot? Like she was doing
like
a set at the, she was doing like a set at the day club, and Grace Lilly is supposed to perform, and she shows up an hour late, like like 2 minutes before like she's supposed to go up there and perform, and she
was late, like not even 2 minutes before.
No,
like
2 minutes before it ended.
Oh, was she playing this? Oh, okay. I thought that she was like finishing it. The way that they made it seem is she finished a song and like it was the magic of television, I guess. So it really looked like she did just shown up and like went up and like got on the microphone and did her thing. Mm-hmm. I was dying though, Mia, when you were like, "Oh, the microphone's not even on." Well,
she's like dancing and the microphone on.
Like this. The microphone's like over here. She's like.
I'm like, I've seen more singing like karaoke. I'm
like, right. Listen. You got to give her props. It is so funny to watch her on TV. Like it really is. Like I said, I wouldn't think she was real if I hadn't met her in real life. But what are you gonna do? So I mean, so much happened in this last episode. I want to talk about the disco cowboy dinner. Obviously, before the dinner, you were talking to Maddie and Will, and you were telling him like he needs to like literally like speak up and like address the group about what's going on with all the rumors that are happening. You guys are at this disco cowboy dinner, and someone had said something which kind of opened up the perfect opportunity for Will to address the group. And it was like you were looking at him like, this is your time. Like, say something now.
After the breakfast, I was like tired of this tension. I was like, we're here to have fun. We're here to party. We're here to drink. We're here to like have a good time. And everybody knows about these rumors besides Will and Emmy at this point.
Right.
And I think what also is affecting the group is the fact that Will has talked so much shit about Emmy to like multiple people in the group. So I told him, I was like, you just need to address everybody. You need to bite the bullet, say I'm sorry, say it's never gonna happen again. I love my girlfriend, and let's just have a good time. And he's like, I don't want to do that. They don't deserve that. I said, they kind of do, brother. Like, they kind of do. Yeah. And it's the perfect time. Kill two birds with one stone. Everybody's together. Let's just do it. So I'm sitting there, like, we have gotten our appetizers. We have gotten our stuff. And he still hasn't said anything yet. And I'm like,
yeah, like
we agreed on doing this. We're going to do it now. Because I just hate seeing. Will's a good friend to, like, half of us in the group. Like me, Brad, TJ. Like, you know what? We're friends. And so for this to affect everybody, it just doesn't feel good. And I'm like, you just have to do this one simple thing. Just one simple thing.
So when he finally spoke up, it almost seemed like he kind of turned it on TJ and like made it TJ's fault for bringing it to like the group at the lake house. We obviously know Mia's feelings. Molly, how do you think that like he handled that entire dinner? Like at the cowboy dinner, like how do you think Will handled it?
Like a coward.
Yeah.
Like to put it politely.
Yeah.
I think that again with the reactions causing bigger events afterwards, like he could have said exactly what Mia was explaining, like just attack it head on, say, look, this is what's happening. And I think that he's like, I'm out, I'm done, I'm leaving the room, which I can't blame him. But also I think in general, he is a coward with all of these allegations and has yet to show genuine support for Emmy and remorse. Yeah. He has an answer for everything, and it's always an answer that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's never a point blank period comment. There's always, it's just, he's a coward.
We obviously Lake dropped the bomb about the cheating allegations. Mm-hmm. It almost was like everybody was shocked. They end up leaving the dinner. The next morning, Mia, you go to the pool with Maddie, and Will goes to get some food with the boys. And they're obviously, Emmy and Will are talking to like their respective like group of friends. And they drop that like kind of what everyone was saying, like the alibi about how he was like harassed by Austin's, like we said earlier, Austin's girlfriend's brother's second cousin's grandma. Like it was a lot. We obviously everyone called BS on like that story. I'm not going to say it was what they did, but it came off as like something that they came up with, like when they went back to the room. But you guys all called BS on it in your interviews. Molly, what were your thoughts on what they had said? Are you calling BS, or are you gonna?
Are you asking like what I think?
Yeah, what did you think? Yeah, what did you think about the alibi? The entire group of friends were calling BS.
Him.
Yeah,
he was being bullied.
If people were going to jail for bullying and being bullied, we would have no one in prison. I'm sorry, but we would have everyone in prison. Like, I don't think that you would win any court case. You should know that, Will. With your backup evidence, I was bullied. We've all been bullied, so calm down. Like, actually calm down. No one. This is not a Legally Blonde 2. Like. And I promise you're not that sought after, and you're not that cool. You're not that guy. People are not trying to sabotage you. You're not that guy. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah. So you're calling BS too. You're calling BS.
I'm like, what an incredible alibi. So weird. I'm like,
it was so weird. It was so
did you get that?
It's very descriptive.
Did you get that from like One Tree Hill? Like, I just felt like I was watching, like I was hearing like some crazy soap opera story. I'm like, calm down.
I did love that he said that they called him Bravo Boy. I was like, that was clever.
I mean, that's the nicest thing they probably
at the dinner, there was such a nice toast, like prior to all this happening, but it was like, I think it was Maddie who said like she just wanted to, it was the last night, she just wanted to have a good night. Michael's decided that it would be a good idea to play a game. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, watch Bravo. You know how things turn out when these games are played, and it usually doesn't end well for anybody. So, it was a game of going around and saying, like, who you trust the least.
And I'm like, that doesn't even sound like a fun game. I'm like, what kind of game is that?
I was like, what kind of game is this? This is like straight out of the Saw movies. Let's play a game.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Did you guys watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the game that they played at the end of their season with the phones? You guys should have played that.
Huge Salt Lake fans, and he was paying homage to that, apparently.
It was similar, but it never ends well. Like, these games never end well.
No.
Molly, you tell Grace Lilly that you would never trust her. And I do have to say, like, I don't think I can trust anyone's judgment that sleeps with O'Sheen, so I have to agree with you on that. I have to agree.
Period.
But it caused like an uproar, like going on like at the table. Mia, you stepped in, you defended Maddie, saying that Maddie is the only person that would stick up for her in that group. And it seems like almost like it doesn't even seem, it comes across like they almost have a one-sided friendship. It's like Maddie's a good friend to Grace Lilly, but Grace Lilly isn't a good friend to Maddie.
Exactly.
Was there anything, and you don't have to give me specifics, but did you guys finish the game? Did everyone go around and say something, or was it over by then?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It started out light. It's like, Mia was like, probably Lake, I don't know her.
No, I said Joe. I said I'm not trusting Joe.
Joe's bitch ass.
Oh my God. They need to
me, and I'm like, girl, please, we'll get there.
Yeah. They need to release like an extended version of that because just like what they did with Salt Lake City, we didn't get to see everyone's like answer. It would be nice to see what you guys all said. What went through your minds after this dinner when Joe said he had a surprise for you guys, and you guys went to a wedding chapel? Did you know?
I didn't. You
just had a feeling.
Like, what surprise in Vegas? I mean, I'm a wedding planner, so I think my mind was like, "There's a wedding near."
I knew that we were gonna go party after the dinner. Like, I knew we were going to like some like nightclub and going to party, and the nightclub was in the hotel we were staying. Yeah. So I was like, why are we all getting this SUVs, and where the fuck are you taking me? Like, I know the desert's right next door. I'm not loving this. I watched too much true crime. I'm not loving this situation. Yeah. And we just played that trust game. I'm like, I don't like.
You're like, wait a minute. I don't trust any of you now.
It was a big moment especially the trailer. People were like going crazy over it, like just like seeing, like they were just picking apart every part of it. Like, are they married? Like, what's going on? Like, I think over the holidays, a holiday card came out with Joe, Maddie, and like maybe her family. And people were like, oh my God, maybe they really are married. Like, he made the holiday card. Like, people like love to speculate. When you pulled up to the wedding chapel though, like what were you just like, what the fuck?
No, we were all what the fuck.
Yeah. I was like,
and then we saw the Elvis.
Oh my God. I would have died. I literally would have died.
We saw the Elvis, and he was so that Elvis was so serious too. Like he was.
Oh yeah. They take that seriously. Like there was also a couple there before us, or either before or after us. I can't remember that. Like we're actually getting married, and it was so fun to like also see that. But like I was like, we're just drunk idiots right now. Like we're all pretty toasty. Like we're off a dinner with like keep it coming martinis.
Yeah.
So like we're all like, what's happening?
Oh my God. I mean, it was hilarious. So I mean, who even knows what is going to happen for the rest of the season? I mean, you guys, like I said in the beginning, have been killing it. Molly, your first season, your freshman year, like I hope to see you on many more seasons to come. You're doing great.
Well, thank you.
I never want Mia off my TV screen. I mean,
Me neither.
You guys are just so good, and I love just the dynamic between the two of you two is fun. So I'm gonna hit you up next time I'm in Charleston. We're gonna have some fun. But,
please.
I do want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Before we go, we obviously have another little bit more than half the season to go, I'm assuming. How would you describe the rest of the season in one word?
Fast. I would say it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it and I'm just like, oh my God, my roller coaster.
Yeah. It is a roller coaster at full speed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's just constant looping. You're just constantly on a loop and you're like, when can I get off this ride?
You're like, you and I can assure you will not be bored. I think this next few weeks, if you liked what we did, now you'll love it.
Buckle up.
Stay sat for the rest of the season.
Stay sat. Pop your popcorn.
No more filler
Bathroom breaks before you're gonna be locked in.
I'm obsessed. Girls, thank you so much. Drop your handles. Let the people know where they can find you and all the good stuff. Mia?
At Mia Alario on everything.
Don't
look me up on LinkedIn. Don't look me up on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I see that. Stop looking at me, everyone. It's scary. My clients are gonna be scared.
I have a real job, please.
My handle is at molly.moore. And then if you want to see my wedding content, my events content, you can do at Get Intrigued. That's also a fun page.
I love that. Yeah. Come back anytime you girls want. I love you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you.